Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to discuss on some interesting transfer updates. We begin with Neymar as PSG are reportedly open to Neymar's Barcelona return will be flexible in negotiations, according to a new report. We are going to discuss that as we progress. Secondly, talking about the right back situation, as FC Barcelona have been offered this 26-year-old Spanish defender who plays for Mallorca, Pablo Maffeo, by his entourage. This report was brought by Gerard Romero. We are also going to be discussing about that. So as we get right into the stories in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. With PSG and Neymar heading out for divorce this summer, possibly, the Brazilian superstar has been heavily linked with a move back to FC Barcelona. Indeed, PSG have informed Neymar that new manager Luis Enrique does not count on him, and the player has not involved in the club's media day since the week started. Barcelona have shown a great interest in bringing Neymar back this summer, with President Joan Laporta in particular said to be angling for a reunion. However, given Neymar's massive wages, a move to bring him back to the club would be impossible, as a result of which an alternative option of the Brazilian signing for a Saudi Arabian club before arriving in Catalonia on a loan deal is being considered. Given the difficult relationship between Barcelona and PSG as well as the French club's Qatari owners and Saudi Arabia, the aforementioned operation was thought to be very difficult to achieve. But as per the latest report from Sport, PSG are willing to facilitate Neymar's return to Barcelona this summer and will be flexible in negotiations as they wish to see the Brazilian leave the club. The Parisian giants see it as the best possible option for them to be able to get rid of the Brazilian superstar amid a lack of clear alternative. As such, they will not pose any impediments in talks despite the tricky relationship between Qatar and the Saudi Arabian. While there are some apprehensions within the players' camp about a move to Asia, the possibility of him returning to Barca on a loan for a year could convince him to greenlight this operation. Obviously, the transfer will not be easy to pull off by any means, given Neymar's wages as well as the third-party contracts that he has in parallel with PSG. The player must accept to move to Saudi Arabia and would have to potentially reduce his salary to some great extent for him to be able to get back to his old club, Barcelona, this season. Of course, the Neymar saga continues to bring on, all sort of twists and turns, and of course, as we would expect, of course, from day one, this Neymar saga have never been looking easy. We know that Neymar is one of the most talented players in the world, and of course, his wages is incredibly high for Barca standards. And one key factor that will likely make a deal not working out between Barca and Neymar is the fact that the player's salary is quite hefty for Barcelona. We know that Barca have been unable to blow up in terms of going for big players, going for big names, paying high salaries, all because the financial leverage isn't there. Laporta have been trying so hard to ensure that the club meets certain limits. Of course, Neymar to Barcelona rumors have been the most talked about headlines in the transfer rumors lately, as Laporta wants a reunion, as early reports coming out saying Xavi have never been open to that idea, but later on we started getting reports of Xavi now not ruling out a possibility for Neymar coming back. I definitely think that definitely Neymar should come back to Barca, but we know the financial impediments that will be involved in such a deal. So there have been an idea that Pini Zahavi, who is Neymar's agent and also having a good relationship with President Joan Laporta, have been brainstorming on an idea of trying to, send Neymar to one of the Saudi Arabian clubs, because those clubs, they have the money to pull off a deal. They have the money to sign Neymar. They have the money to, pay Neymar's wages. And from there, the idea is Neymar should be loaned out to Barca for at least a season. And of course, whereas both clubs will share the salary of Neymar, because knowing fully well that Neymar's salary will be quite heavy for FC Barcelona to pay. Even though we've been getting some previous reports claiming that Neymar is prepared to take a pay cut. He's prepared to take a pay cut to join Barca because he definitely knows the situation that Barcelona is going through, and he's open to that. But that notwithstanding, that is still another scenario, as Pini Zahavi is of the idea that Neymar should go to Saudi Arabia and possibly be loaned to Barca for at least one season. Now, with this latest report, we're talking about PSG, knowing fully well that Neymar likes to return to Barca, and they are prepared to soften their stance during negotiations. I think this should come as a positive if this report is to be believed. Then moving on to the next story of discussion. Earlier today, reports emerged claiming that Barca were considering a move for Mallorca right back Pablo Maffeo as a cost-effective option, while João Cancelo and Juan Foyth of Villarreal being expensive and Ivan Fresneda not generating consensus up to now. It was suggested that Maffeo, who could be available for just 6 million, could be an option for Barca. Now, Gerard Romero is reporting that it is Maffeo's services have been offered to Barca by the player's agent. The 26-year-old has been at Mallorca for 2 years now, having joined the club from Stuttgart, initially on loan, before the move was made permanent last year. Maffeo has shown a good level of performance, has experience, and at 26 still has his best years in front of him. On top of that, the former Manchester City prospect would be an affordable option for Barcelona due to his low transfer fees and wages. You know, so it makes sense for Barca to consider him as an option to reinforce the right back position. But at this point, it is unclear whether they are ready to act on it, with the case being that of the player being offered to the club by his camp rather than the Catalans making a move. The option of Cancelo is fading fast due to Manchester City's demands and the player's wages, while Foyth's 54.6 million euros release clause makes him out of reach as well. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye for now.